Hello everybody, welcome back to Apex Racing TV. We're back here at the circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Once again, this time it's for the World GT Championship. Andrew Woodhouse with Sam Fitzpatrick and Sam Kumo on the cameras. And Sam, well, Spa-Francorchamps, we were just here for the Formula Drivers Challenge about half an hour ago. So it's going to be, it's a return to this track. Slightly different cars, of course, GT3s. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. This is one of the best circuits in the world, one of the best drivers' circuits in the world, particularly that middle part of the lap. And then you got Rouge and Radion. Of course, every corner around this place has got is steeped in history in a mixture of categories. And there's also fantastic racing, plenty wide through pretty much the entirety of the circuit. So, no, should be absolutely fantastic for the 20-minute races we've got coming up.
Yes, and currently, well, we're looking at the championship standings, and George McClay leads the way by 3 points. Only 3 points over Pete Harrod. Michael Evdocker is in 3rd place, and Mark Fletcher in 4th, Ben Palmer in 5th. Mike Horder leads the Pro-Am category. Leads that by 18 points out of Ethan Bass, then Matt Bunn, Mike Gray, Ash Beard. And in the Am category, Craig Jones is ahead of Lars Van Rijn, and then it's Carl Jacquelet, and then Kevin Bolland. So we'll see how they all get on as we move forward with this one. We're in qualifying, everybody. We've just got 4 minutes to go of that session, and at the moment, well, Sam, it belongs to Ross McFarlane. 217.291 ahead of Foggy and Mangan.
Yeah, and of course, one of the McLarens out there is McFarlane, so could have a bit of an advantage. However, the McLaren could be very unstable up the Eau Rouge and Radion. It's possible flats, I believe, in these cars, actually, is that section of the circuit. So the McLaren is notorious, like the kink at Road America. That was really poor for that car, and those kind of high-speed corners really can unsettle the McLaren. So it should be very good in qualifying, but yeah, let's see what it can do in the race as well. Foggy up there in 2nd place, not usually the best qualifier always, but well, certainly doing a good job at it right now. That's a very good sign for later on.
He's just improved his time as well. McFarlane knocked about 10th off it to well, 100th off it, I think, to go slightly quicker. Mangan's in 3rd, Evdocker in 4th, Ben Palmer in 5th, Lewis Bibby 6th, Harrod 7th, Shield 8th, Fletcher 9th, and then Mike Horder is the leading of the Pro-Am drivers in 10th. Leading Am driver at the moment is Taylor Lane in 23rd position. And these drivers, well, they've got 20-minute races, 3 of them tonight. The first one decided by this qualifying session, the other 2 decided by the reverse grid wheel, which we're going to spin between the sessions. So after the first race is over, please don't go anywhere, because we do have 2 more to go. Chaz Draycott coming through to finish his lap, and what can he do? Can he improve from 23rd position? I don't think he can. Harry Wills is also on the lap as well. He's done his fastest time of the day. He's up to what is 19th position for Team Rookie Monsters. Ben Palmer is in P5 at the moment. He's done 4 green sectors, Sam. This looks like a good lap for Palmer.
Absolutely, and once again, another one of those McLarens taking a very wide line, actually setting up for another lap, I think, as far. So he must have picked up a 1x. So easy to do around this circuit. They do have 15 minutes to these drivers. I don't really have much of an excuse not to get in a clean lap. 15 minute session, however, it's a long lap, and like I said, off track, very easy to pick up. So it's very tricky to get an absolutely perfect lap, in particularly Eau Rouge is a top spot. There you can see now the driver of Summerfield just lining up his run in the boosted machine. And it's a tricky mix as well, this circuit, in terms of the draft effect that you want from the drive ahead, but at the same time you don't want any traffic, of course, so you want that toe over the Kemmel Straight, but then you don't really want it in the middle of the track. If you can work together as a team, as it seems as though the Fitzstye drivers are doing at the moment with McFarlane just ahead of Evdocker, if you can do that well, then you're going to be in a very good position. And Evdocker a little bit too far back. Looks as though he's about 0.8 of a second back at the moment. It's going to not gain too much time over the Kemmel Straight from this distance back. He needs to be a little bit closer, but you can gain a couple of tenths by using this strategy.
Yeah, and you know, the driver's just got to keep this very, very clean, very good, very easy to pick up and off track around this circuit. And you see Mark Woodhouse going up into 15th place. about 1.5 seconds off of pole position. Lars Van Rijn, 27th in his car, his boosted car. And then we're looking now at Mark Woodhouse as he's on his the lap after the improvement. So we'll see if he can do any better through this lap. Looks like he's attacking through Eau Rouge and Radion. So Woodhouse then on his way, currently lying in 17th in the championship and 7th in the Pro-Am category, but he looks like he's pulling off to the side and he won't be improving this time round. Not sure if anybody else is there. Sam, we were talking before the proceedings started about a few penalties that potentially are being accrued here.
Yeah, seemingly Josh Thompson, who was so strong at Suzuka, nearly won all three races. Certainly won race one, finished second or third in race two, and I think he may have won race three. So no, he got involved in something, didn't he, in race three? So fortunately, he's going to be starting from the pits due to a few contacts I think they picked up last time out at Suzuka. Very good steering from this series, very much onto these drivers if they do anything wrong. So all those penalties being given out, so he'll be starting from the pits every single race, which is it will be infuriating for him, and that's why you haven't seen him on your timing boards because he's got a no qualification penalty for this race one, so he can't qualify. I think he's got to start from the pit, so he might just start from the back of the grid. However, I think it will be the former. So no, that's not a good situation for him. But yeah, watch out for that machine to be storming through the order during the race. Still got Ashley Beard yet to come to the line. You can see he's 1.5 seconds off the fastest time at the moment. I believe has visited this circuit in the Sim Racers World GT Championship. I think we visited this circuit. Not quite sure. We must have done. Surely Spa, or maybe coming to that circuit later on in the season. Beard, meanwhile, though, again to 14th place, and he cannot improve. Oscar Mangan in 4th, and now goes up to 2nd. Good lap there for Mangan. Only 1/10 of a second off McFarlane, and puts himself on the front row of the grid. It's going to be a McLaren 1-2 seemingly.
McFarlane did increase his lead as well. He did knock about 0.08 of a second off his lap time, so all important at this point in the proceedings. We're on board with Chaz Draycott in the Audi coming down to the chicane. He takes that well. Is he going to be nice and tidy on the way out? He is. Draycott drives to the line then, currently in 24th place. And he's going to stay in 24th. He does improve, but not enough to get him any further up the grid.
Still got Kevin Boland, I think, out on the circuit. I think Boland is that a legitimate time for burn? No, it's been 2 minutes 20 since the checker flag came out. So Jacob only just got in that final lap time. Those McFarlane and Abdoka, they've run out of time, guys. There's no point. Go back to the pits. Prepare for the race. Change your setup. You don't want to start on your qualifying set, otherwise you won't get very far. And that would be a big penalty around the circuit if you have to come in after a few laps because it's the double pit lane we've got here. So we've got the Grand Prix pits, which I'm sure everyone's got used to in Formula One and such. But then we've also got the pits which go down the hill. So you have to navigate all of that just to get through the pits. It loses you about 40 seconds. So don't want an extra pit stop around this place.
No, you don't want any pit stops if you can help it. It's a very, very long pit lane. It's a slow speed limit around here as well. I think because of the because it's quite narrow in places as well. You do not want to make a mistake, crash into the wall, because we've seen that several times over the last few years here at this track, and we've seen cars rolling over at the pit exit as well. So you have to be careful, even going around the last source section of the pit lane. But qualifying is over, then everybody has pretty much completed their laps. We're going to get the grid on the screen in just a moment or two's time. And in fact, Sam, there it is.
Yes, and it's Russell McFarlane then on pole position for Texans Fitstone Motorsports. Oscar Mangan in second place. Of course, going for the championship are those two drivers. Nico Foggy starts in third. Then it's Michael Abdoka, Ben Palmer, and Lewis Bibby. Pete Harrod and Andy Shield make up the fourth row of the grid. Then it's Simon Underhill, top of the Pro-Ams. Very good qualifying there for the Nomad Sim Racing driver. Mark Fletcher lines up in 10th. He needs a good round today to keep his championship hopes alive. 1 second off the pace. Billy Fletcher, who's not his brother or any relation, in 11th. Mike Horder is in 12th. Then it's Ethan Bass, Ashley Beard, Mark Woodhouse, John Juice, Mike Gray, Max Bird, Harry Wills doing fantastic up there. Top of the amateur drivers. There's Adam Hedgecock, Simon Field, Michael Blake, Steve Burke, Chaz Draycott, Taylor Lane, Carl Yacolet, Lars Van Rijn, Kevin Boland, Dennis Melchert, Jack Hills, Craig Jones, Niall Crowther, Matt Draycott, John Roberts, Josh Thompson, might be starting in 35th, Pete Newman, George McClay, of course another drag game from the championship, Richard Warmingham, Ben Gregory,
George
Tom
McClay's the championship
Jacobs.
leader, so I'm sorry to interrupt,
Oh,
but
there you go. He's
does lead
definitely
the way at
passing
this
on the
point. Yeah.
championship then, isn't he? Yeah. Tom Jacobs, Dean Timms, and Nathan Dixon. Hopefully we'll see Kieran Chung as well. Take the grid. That would make it 43 cars on this grid. It's quite a few. I'm sure that they well, I say I'm sure. I wish I was sure. Hopefully they will all get the first few corners nice and cleanly, because it's tricky around this place. And strangely, we got these green flags should come out going down the hill into Eau Rouge. If we were doing a standing start, they'd be lining up, I believe, just before Eau Rouge. So McFarlane, I think, could go before then. If he wants to, you can pretty much go at any point from when the safety car comes into the pits. So he could wait until after La Source, or he could just go straight after the chicane. I don't know what he's going to do here. I'm not even sure whether he knows where the green flag is, because we're not even sure on where it is. So best of luck to him. I wouldn't want to be in his shoes.
No, and we're going to see indeed if those boots are indeed made for walking off into the distance, or whether he's going to be a little bit static here at the start. Let's see if what McFarlane can do, because it's going to be difficult to get a gap in order to get rid of the slipstream and get rid of the drivers behind. When's he going to go, McFarlane? When's he going to hit it? Is he going to hit the loud pedal? Now, it's most likely going to be after La Source, of course, with this combined layout. Some drivers will go early at this point. We've seen it before. But, yeah, McFarlane being very considered and very careful. And in fact, going into La Source is when he hits it. He's going to take the green light then when we come through. And this is the start line. And there's the green flag to start this 20-minute race here in the World GT Championship. McFarlane leads then, Oscar Mangan in second, and Michael Docker in third. He's already ahead of Foggy, actually, Sam.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Foggy who got a good start. He was really on the tail of Mangan going into La Source, but it wasn't happening for him. Now here comes Bibby, who's already got past Palmer. Bibby wants to get past Foggy and maybe help out a couple of his teammates. We might have side-by-side as well for the lead. Mangan challenging going into that corner. Good news for Foggy, though. He stayed in fourth place going into Lake Coombe. I'm seeing no changes, more than one place, all the way down in the top 20. I have got Steve Burke gaining a couple of places. Tom Jacobs gaining a couple of places. Pete Newman going back to the pits seemingly, so he's the one casualty from all of that.
And Mark Woodhouse just took John Adjuce, that's for 15th and 16th place. You see Woodhouse on the screen there in the BMW. Behind them is Max Bird and Mike Gray. Mike Gray under pressure from in fact, he's putting pressure on the Ferrari of John Adjuce through Pouon. If he can get a run here and maybe try and get past him, the man from Malta, but he manages to stay in front. There's a juice, and McFarlane hasn't managed to get rid of Oscar Mangan. It's just 0.4 of a second as we go towards the end of the first lap here.
And there's a couple of places further up which changed. They've gone back to normal again. So Foggy got back past Evdoka, and Palmer got back past Bibby. So
Yeah.
that was a bit of a waste of a lap, wasn't it? No changes in the top 8. You can see Fletcher, they gained past Underhill. So let's see if he can catch up to the guys ahead. He's pretty close already and might be close enough for a move on Andy Shield. That was late on the brakes for Fletcher, who goes around the outside of Underhill. That was very nicely done. Audi versus Audi, and he does get past. But yeah, no big gaps. So the biggest gap, I think, going at the top is maybe Foggy and Evdoka up to 3/4 of a second, as Underhill is going to try to defend from Fletcher, and they're going to be side by side going into Eau Rouge. But I think I think Fletcher will have the advantage.
Yeah, you don't really want to be going side by side down at the bottom of the hill. That's for sure. If you can help it, at least. And this time they decide that that is the best thing to do.
And Underhill, it looks like he might lose another place here. So had was starting up in 9th place, but I think he's going to lose the 2nd place in the Pro-Ams to Horder. He doesn't quite commit to that move. Like Horder, former ARL GT3 champion. But not at the moment progressing a place right here.
Yeah, Horder's done a very solid championship so far after 24 rounds. He's 20 points clear in the race for the Pro-Am category. He's ahead of Ethan Bass. And Ethan Bass just 2 positions behind him. In one of the other Mercedes on the list, there he is. We're on board with him.
They're all kind of queuing up right now behind Pete Harrod in 7th place. You can see there's not really a gap between any of them, and this is very much a draft circuit around the 1st and 3rd sectors, and there's been a few straights as well in between these corners in the middle part of the lap. Of course, this track, drivers have probably done more miles around this place than any other. Maybe Watkins Glen maybe rivals this, but even that, I think, in terms of miles, I think this circuit is probably at the top. So there's going to be no surprises for these drivers. They're going to know this place like the back of their hand. Of course, the 24 hours of Spa as well. I'm sure a lot of these drivers would have taken part. Oh, that's off in Underhill.
Oh, that's the big crash. It's a big one for Underhill. He's right in the middle of the course. Oh dear. I think he's just about off the racing line.
Max Bird has lost it simultaneously. I think he may have cut the chicane. No, it's all right, Bird. That is a miracle. It hasn't gone to hit someone.
I mean, he's just gonna make it. Let's have a look at Underhill then. Does he just lose control? Oh, he loses the rear. Oh, big crash, big one. And that was Bird, who tried really hard to avoid him, and in the process spins, and he comes back on just pretty much where he would have been.
Maybe a slowdown for him, surely. I don't know if he's maybe serving that still now, hence why he's just lost that place to Blake. Spurs all over the place now. But that was good avoidance from him, because Underhill came back onto the second bit unexpectedly. Here comes Jaycott and Thompson's now with these guys. Obviously Thompson's with these guys. He's casually gained 11, or will be 13 places very soon. Oh, that's very tight with the BMW nipping down the inside. And now Jaycott gets spin. Thompson makes a bit of contact. And that was, I think that was John Juice in the BMW, who was making it 3 wide in Saliku.
Yeah, Jaycott not going to be happy with that one, I'm sure. The Juice just ahead of Thompson, and Thompson, who showed really frightening pace this year in these GT3 cars. I mean, after starting from the... Do we think it was the back of the grid, or do we think it was the pit lane, Sam? Do we know?
I think it was the back of the grid, but
because I doubt it would be up to 21st from the pit lane by now. It would be almost impossible, surely. Back of the grid. But his I rating was higher than a few of the other drivers who were at the back, so he did start in about 35th place.
It must be really depressing when you know going into a round that your best start in a race is going to be 35th. It's only going to get harder from here, Thompson. This is his best chance at a good result all day long, because the other race, of course, he is going to be starting from the pits, and we think that's going to be a much bigger disadvantage for him. So he needs to get in a few points. He's not really going for the championship anyway, as that's a big slide in the Audi. Maybe it's the Audi which is going to struggle. You'd expect it to be the McLaren, which was Blanchimont, but today so far it's been Underhill and Thompson.
Well, somebody missed the chicane in the background as well. Well, I think one of the Mercedes possibly missing the bus stop. Oh, and there's a contact in La Source. That's Harry Wills and Michael Blake. Wills in the 955. Sorry, not Michael Blake, is it? It's Stephen Burke. So Wills in the BMW, Burke in the Mercedes, Blake in the second BMW, and then the McLaren of Hedgecock as they go over the top of the hill again.
been to a lot of high-speed circuits, and maybe this track
Oh dear.
selection not benefiting the BMW too much, as trying to find a way through is Blake. Will's just
Oh, just
positioned that
tapped him.
guy. Have a
Tapped him.
little bit of Hamilton Rosberg 2014, but
And that was all it was. Just a light tap, but it unsettled Harry Wills. And Michael Blake going through with the lovely paint scheme on that BMW. Really is.
Adam Watson asking why he has to start from the pits, because he's been a naughty boy. All right, Adam. He's broken some rules, making a bit of contact.
He had to spend some time in the gulag, but we let him out for this one.
Exactly. I mean, in this race, you get punished as much for contact as you do in the real world with the situation. I mean, that's the penalties that they're suffering.
And well, Thompson, you know, he does his best, bless him. He's a specialist in the world of crashing into pit. No, I'm only kidding. That was the
Wow,
old John Thompson. He
that was
doesn't really do
subtle.
that. Well, I was going to say he doesn't really do that anymore, and then he's went and got himself a lot of penalties. It's Carl Jacquelet, and he's ended up in the weeds somewhere, and I wonder why. Oh, there we go. That's the Renvale Fitzstye car coming up and absolutely cleaning him out into what looks like the Fanias chicane.
Yeah, I wonder who that was. That Gregory, perhaps?
Could
Or
be
maybe,
Gregory, yeah.
maybe McClay. I reckon it was McClay. I think he runs the Renvale.
McClay can't afford to be taking penalties. I tell you, he just lead the championship. I mean, as it stands, with McClay languishing down in 25th place, Pete Harrod will take the championship lead after this race. And we're on board with Nico Foggy, sorry, looking at the back of, looking at the front, sorry, of Michael Docker's car, going on the Kemmel Straight now.
Well, with McClay's poor starting spot, I think that was a penalty from last time out to Suzuka, so he has been collecting a few penalties, it seems. But yeah, cannot afford any more. Of course, we also have drop rounds, which makes it really complicated. But I think Howard's got a couple of really good job scores. The points that we're referring to include the job scores, I believe. So even if Howard has an awful round, his second to worst score isn't that bad. So he can afford a bad meeting or two, and it won't be the end of the world. Whereas everyone else can't. Particularly Fletcher's had I swear, an awful month. Ever since I've started commentating with this, he's had an awful run of it as Mark Fletcher. He was championship leader for the majority of this season. But yeah,
by some miracle, he's still fourth in the championship.
yeah. Shows how good the first half of the season was. There's Fletcher kind of getting a bit stuck behind Howard, who hasn't had superb pace in this race one. It's had season has kind of been built on race T's and race D's, just getting 3 top 10s. If you can get, if you just average 10th place for every round of the season, I mean, you'd absolutely dominate the season. You'd crush everyone else. So that's been working well for him. Fletcher, they're losing out to his completely non-relative Billy Fletcher at that. So the pro-am moves ahead of the pro. So.
Well, you managed to take one for the team last week on that, and we found out that they weren't related. So that's that, ladies and gentlemen. Foggy's just lost third to Evdoka. So Michael Evdoka for Texans Fitzstye getting ahead of Foggy, the XVR simulation driver.
They have dropped back though from the leading 2. It's up to 1 second. That's not within draft range.
It isn't, but look what we have here. Wild 4 GT appeared. Dennis Melcher. And we're looking at Jack Hills here, and what's going to happen to Hills? So he's going to arrive at the bus stop and see a load of cars battling. Oh, he misses his braking point. Goes well off the track. Melcher off as well in the 4 GT. The venerable 4 GT.
I saw a stat somewhere that Dennis Melcher has won every race in the Ford category so far this season. Which is absolutely terrific. Congratulations to him. He is in 30th place. Slow in front of them. Taylor Lane. He's
Oh
down
yeah,
4 places. Oh, very slow is the fiercely forward driver. Bit of damage to
that's
the bonnet, but it still seems fine.
yeah. He was the highest qualifying AM driver, so I wonder if he's just taken a knot. Oh, he's got that front right wheel doesn't look in great shape, does it? Yeah, we're getting word. We think he has got suspension damage, Taylor Lane. That's why he's keeping off the racing line as best he can. And these GT3s, Sam, you know, they're not easy to drive at the best of times. So especially when one of the axles is well, not pointing in the direction it should be, can't be easy.
Absolutely. And the largest reverse grid we have in this series, I believe, is 30. So he's now dropped outside the top 30. So I'd be surprised if he just parks it up. Or maybe he can continue to score points. It's a long lap here, and you get disqualified, I
Oh,
believe, to cross the line 4 times
that's a
as
bit of
Mike.
after you between Gray and Woodhouse. They were both nearly stationary when we cut to them, Sam.
Woodhouse moving into. Was that an overtake for Woodhouse there into 4th?
I think it was.
That's for 4th place, sorry. Oh, sorry,
Ah,
this is Woodhouse actually defending.
so let's see. Into the bus stop. Oh, Woodhouse just opens the door for Gray. Gray kind of misses his braking point. Woodhouse sort of. I was very clumsy, really, from both of them, I would say that. Gray missed his braking point. Woodhouse sort of was on a bad line. Yeah. There we go. Through Lacombe then. Ash Beard and Mike Horder. Mike Horder in the boosted car with the stripes, and Beard in the fluorescent yellow and green Year 1 racing car.
Beard will have the
This is
inside
lovely
for
through Rivage.
No Name. And has it covered. That was very close as well. For Ethan Bass, and Thompson is closing them in. Thompson might get a top 10 out of this.
Ah,
Kevin
Boland.
Boland has been involved in something with Richard Warmingham, it seems.
Yeah, let's
And
have a
Ron
look.
Jacobs.
This is into Lacombe again. Warmingham on the inside, in the black and red car. Oh, and yeah, looked like Boland didn't really give the space to Warmingham that time. There goes Dennis Melcher. He's through. Services in the medical car not needed. There you go. Tell you what, if you get beaten by the medical car, Sam, you know you need to rethink your career choices, I think.
Absolutely. I always love it when we have these manual safety cars in some leagues.
Oh yes.
And the safety car completes more laps than many of the drivers. Always like to see that in the standings.
Oh,
F-Doc is
hitting
just
it.
holding back.
Foggy's hitting it, I think.
Yeah, and that's not going to make you go any faster unless you do it down the straights. Foggy losing a bit of time as well across the pitch straight. I want to be picked up a slowdown. Something gaps back up to 0.8 of a second, and it's up to 2.5 seconds to the race lead. They lost 1 second on that last lap, so they've kind of allowed these top two to pull away whilst they were fighting. Still a 3rd and a 4th would not be bad for those two whatsoever. There's not a massive advantage to winning a race in terms of the points, but they have still lost any chance of that after really fighting for it earlier on. McFarlane and Mangan, difficult to tell how much pace Mangan has. Is he just waiting for this move, or is he absolutely giving it everything? He's very comfortable right there, too.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I thought he was closer than he'd ever been before, really, coming out of Radion, but just managing now really to stay with him. He's got a couple of laps, hasn't he? So maybe he's just thinking, I'm just going to wait for the final lap, maybe even the final corner. Who knows?
I wonder if we
The
could
finish
get
line
a
is on the main straight, so maybe he does him into the bus stop.
yeah, could potentially go for that move. Wonder if we could get a gearbox view from one of the McLarens. So I always like the camera from the gearbox. There you are. So there you're on fire. It's always something
yeah.
to think about.
When he hits the brakes now, we're going to see the fire coming out, hopefully. Might be in the slow stuff.
I saw a little bit of fire just before.
Ah.
Unfortunately, we've got a while now. Blanchimont, as long as he's got a bit of grip, will be comfortably nowhere near his foot near the brake. Let's see how close Mangan
Although,
gets, I guess, going into the chicane, whether this is a potential overtaking as well.
yeah, it's a bit of a lift through Blanchimont. It's a very difficult corner for these GT3s. Lovely stuff. Great line by Mangan to gain a bit there. Through the bus stop chicane. And on to what will be the final lap of the race then. Here in race 1 in the World GT Championship, round 25 of the season. Through La Source for the final time. Down the hill towards the perilous Eau Rouge and Radion. Make it look easy there, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. No lifting for them, seemingly. Here comes Mangan to the outside. This is where he's got to make the move, seemingly probably going to be his best chance. Does the dummy, but McLaren was pulling for it. Held late on the brakes, though, is he? As it's side by side as well for third and fourth. Foggy trying to come back, and he has got back past Evdoko. Fantastic move there from the
Doka's
XPI
going for
driver.
the long cutback though. And he's going to squeeze up the inside, you know, into Rivage. If he's late on the brakes, he might be able to force Foggy out here. Foggy holds his ground. They just push each other slightly. There's no grip on the outside of Rivage though. And Michael Evdoka goes back into third place. Good defending. Good defending by Evdoka.
So McFarlane still very much within draft range is Mangan, but yeah, I think it's going to be that chicane there. But it's so tricky to stay close to Blanchimont. I think he was waiting for Lecoun, but just couldn't pull it off. Went for the dummy, but McFarlane with enough experience to see that one off. But McMangan is looking faster through Lafania, and can he stay close enough to these double right-hander? He's right there, but it's going. Oh, as Foggy's off the circuit, and he stopped.
He was in the
Nicola
gravel.
Foggy is out of the race.
Out of the race on the final lap as well. I don't know if the engine blew or what. We might have to see that again after the checkered flag. But in the meantime then, who's going to win this race? Who's going to win round 1 of the day? Is it going to be Ross McFarlane, car number 127? Or is it going to be Oscar Mangan? He thinks about a look. It looks like the Scotsman is going to get there ahead of the Irishman. Ross McFarlane comes across and he wins here at Spa. Great race.
Great defence from McFarlane. Never let any gap for his rival Evdoka finishes. The Bibby will be very pleased with fourth. Howard gets Palmer on the line. I wonder if that's a little bit of championship play there, because Howard was a long way behind, but that's another fantastic fifth place for him, just keeping it clean.
Crash.
This is all very close. Crash ahead for them. Oh, no. And they don't want to get involved as well. That was maybe McClay, I think, gaining about 5 places on the last corner.
The people around, Michael Blake was facing the wrong way, and I'm not sure the other one was. It might have been Burke actually, but yeah, it was a bit of mayhem. We might have to see that again. This is Dracot versus Jacquelet. Audi versus Ferrari. The Audi gets there first. Jacquelet flashes the lights at Dracot after the line, and just behind them was Kevin Bolland's BMW. But yeah, some entertaining stuff. Just going to have a look and see what happened to Foggy then in the final lap. Can't quite see.
Ah. Hardware? He seems to have control over his car.
Couldn't see it unfortunately, but yeah, maybe so. He might have just had to stop for safety, because of course you can sometimes get a screen freeze or similar. It means you can't see anything on the circuit, and yeah, you don't want to put the drivers at risk and ruin your own race in the, well, not just ruin your own race, but ruin everybody else's. So Foggy finishes 37th in the end, 1 lap down. That means it's going to be an uphill battle for the rest of the day.
Yep, and yeah, that's going to be a really tricky situation for him come race 2. But in this race 1 then, Ross McFarlane winning out 2/10 of a second clear of Oscar Mangan. That's how close they were for the entire race. Of course, close in the opening stages, just fell away near the end, finishing in 3rd. Lewis Bibby, a very good 4th. Pete Had racks up more points, a distant 5th, but still, yeah, like I said, very good points. Ben Palmer in 6th. Then top of the Pro-Ams, Billy Fletcher, very much keeping up his great form after Suzuka 2 weeks ago. Andy Shield finishing in 8th place. There was Mark Fletcher and Josh Thompson from 35th place, finishes in 10th. Great drive from him. Only 16 seconds off the lead. I mean, that is mad. Mike Horder finishes 2nd out of the Prams. Ashley Beard 3rd out of the Prams. There's Ethan Bast. Mark Woodhouse. Mike Gray. Harry Wills starting on pole. Finished on pole. Great day this is turning out for Harry Wills. Good drive through the order for George McClay. This could be a favourable reverse grid for him coming up. Adam Hedgecock, a bit quiet in 18th place. Then it was Simon Field, John Juice, Michael Blake, Max Bird, Ben Gregory, Steve Burke, Tom Jacobs, Dennis Malchert, Lars Van Rijn, Richard Warmingham, Chaz Draycott, Carl Yacolet, Kevin Boland, John Roberts, Nathan Dixon, Dean Timms, Matt Draycott, and Craig Jones. Those were the drivers who took the checkered flag. I think all of them were on the lead lap. Yeah, I think they were. Nicole Foggy, Taylor Lane, Jack Hills, Simon Underhill, Niall Crowther, and Pete Newman were the retirees. Newman, I don't think even got out onto circuit. He'd towed back to the pits before we even got going. So 36 drivers then eligible for the reverse grid.
All right, well done, Sam. And yeah, we're going to see who's going to be put on pole position for race 2. Don't go anywhere here on the channel and on the iRacing Esports Network, because we've got much more action. We've got another 40 minutes of racing to come tonight. But first of all, Sam Kumo's here with the reverse grid wheel. Sam, take it away.
That's right. The wheel is here and ready to go. So let's just spin it. Would be interesting to hear what actually happened there with Nico Foggy. So hopefully he joins us after the race 2 for interviews, because it didn't seem like it was fuel issue or anything like that. So weird. But in the meantime, we get not full, 28.
The 4 would have been interesting. 28
yes.
Would mean that Rich Warmingham's going to be very happy about that result, because he's going to be on pole position.
Oh,
Lars
I've got
Van
something
Rijn.
different. Sorry.
What's that?
I've got something different. I've got Richard Warming finishing in 27th in that race. I've got Chaz Jaycott finishing in 28th. So I think Chaz Jaycott would be on pole position. There you are.
28th. Oh, you're correct. There you go. Yes.
Yep. Carl. Yeah. Oh well. So he passed the accolade, didn't he? I think on the last chicane. So that was quite important. So Jaycott on pole. Warmingham in 2nd. Lars Van Rijn gets within the reverse grid. So that's great for the amateur driver. And Bibby, I think, will be starting in about. McClay will be starting in about 13th place, I think. That's much higher up than the front runners from race 1. So it should be a good one.
Might be a good opportunity for McClay then. See if he can get his championship lead back. But we'll find out whether he does or he doesn't when we come back after the break here on the iRacing Esports Network.
Welcome back to the World GT Championship, live on the iRacing Esports Network and Apex Racing TV. Hope you enjoyed race 1. We are about to bring you race 2. Just gridding up for the mini formation lap we have around this circuit. So on pole position, after a 28 reverse grid from the results of race 1, Chaz Jacob is on pole position. Richard Warmingham lines up alongside him. He's top of the pro drivers. Lars Van Rijn top of the amateur drivers. So 3 different classes in the top 3. Then it's Dennis Melchert, Tom Jacobs, Ben Gregory, Max Bird, Michael Blake, Simon Field, Adam Hedgecock, George McClay, Harry Wills starting in 12th place. Then it is Mike Gray, Mark Woodhouse, Ethan Bass, Ashley Beard, Mike Horder, Mark Fletcher, Andy Shield, and Billy Fletcher. That's the top 20. Race winner from race 1 was Ross McFarlane. He's starting in 26th place I am seeing for this race. So I don't know if a couple of drivers maybe haven't turned up. Yeah, down to 40 drivers. One of them, Simon Field, hasn't taken the grid either for this event, for this race 2. So not quite sure what's going on that front. But yeah, a couple of drivers not turning up who would have been within the first grid, which is just going to help the front runners, I guess, from race 1 to move up through the order. So Chaz Jacob from the pole position. Just remember, of course, the green flag comes out halfway down the straight, if you can even call it a straight, between La Source and Eau Rouge. Green flag comes out around there. So Jacob has the choice of when to go, pretty much from when the pace car comes in a moment. Here is the pace car. Now, pretty much Jacob can go whenever he wants. Could put his foot down here. We saw the race leader from race 1 go just before La Source, but Jacob hanging on. Field needs to get a little bit more bunched up just behind him. You can see the gap that Dennis Melchert has left. Oh, sorry, not even Dennis Melchert. Lars Van Rijn has left behind him. He wants to have a good launch. Jacob still holding back. Now coming out of La Source. Does he put down? He doesn't yet. And now we are going to get racing then at Spa for this race 2. 20 minutes of action coming up, and Jacob with a very comfortable launch. Melchert should get ahead of Van Rijn, who's leaving an astonishingly large gap. I'm not quite sure what the logic was on that front. Gregory gets ahead of Jacobs, and Gregory already trying to challenge it as well for 4th place. Massive crash there at the top of Radion, and it's fortunate that it's not involved anyone else. That was Mike Gray and Mark Woodhouse seemingly getting involved in that one. And one of the year 1 cars, I think, coming out of the pits, almost getting involved in that incident as well. Meanwhile, further up ahead, it's still Jacob, Warmingham, Melcher and Gregory, Van Rijn, Bird, Jacobs, Blake, Hedgecock and McClay after 1 lap. Bibby already up 6 places. Not anymore. He's going to lose 6 places by the sight of that. And we've got a hard hit as well for one of the other drivers, Billy Fletcher, I think, in the boost. No, that can't be boosted. Mike Gray or Dean Timms, I think, hitting the wall as well. But Billy Fletcher was involved in something as well. So great shame there for Bibby, I think it was. He was gaining loads of places, was the highest gainer, but not anymore. He gets sent right to the back.
Good. My check, yes, thank you. Hello everybody, back again. Dennis Melchert, and that's Gregory, isn't it, Sam? I think.
Yeah, Gregory just getting ahead of him up into 3rd place now is Ben Gregory. So actually it's Melchert who's starting to drop back behind Van Rijn now. After a tricky start for Van Rijn, losing 2 places almost immediately. Gets back 1 of them, but certainly queuing up behind Bird and Jacobs, Blake and McClay, of course, who has already made up a few places. Andy Shield as well, up into 12th place from 19th.
On board with Tom Jacobs then. See Melchert and Bird in front.
Oh, that's a spin.
Oh, the spinner. Big spin, Van Rijn. And I hope everyone's about. Oh, no, he hasn't.
That's an airplane.
Oh, and that is Mark Fletcher.
Oh, no.
No front end on that Mercedes. Van Rijn spinning. I don't know whether of his own accord or whether he had some assistance. Looks like it's going to be. Oh, he turns in. He's just got no rear grip, Sam.
Yep, and then he reverses back. Doesn't quite hold the brakes. And Mark Fletcher. No. Well, I thought NASA were planning a mission to the moon in 2023, not 2020, and Fletcher accomplishing that mission. But mission to finish the race certainly has been a disaster.
Yeah, let gravity decide that one, and it wasn't in his favour at all. Chaz Draycott leads the way then. Good to see him at the front of the field as usual. Richard Warmingham in second position. He's all over Draycott at the moment, but you know, Chaz has been around for quite a while now in iRacing and knows what he's doing. Just launched his new venture. Look to him with that. But Richard Warmingham, well, the BMW good in this infield section especially, and not very far behind at all, just 4/10.
Have you ever seen Warmingham win a race? Because in
That's a
the
good question.
UAV Supercar Series, oh no, that's Palmer. Ah, he was, well, I guess he'd gained a few places. He started in about 23rd.
4-point turn there.
So this was is that a juice in front here? I don't think so.
It's
maybe
no,
Wills?
Yes, but it was contact with someone else. Andy Shield.
Oh, Hedgecock, sorry.
Hedgecock in the McLaren. Hedgecock's out now, is he? Well, he spins as well.
Oh,
coming out of the Fanias chicane, and Woodhouse goes through. It's all kicking off here. Melcher versus Tom Jacobs for 4th position. Around the outside for Jacobs. Melcher trying to hang on as best he can in this thing. That's all we can say, really, about the Ford Championship leader coming through. George McClay around the outside of the GT. And Max Bird having a look on him as well. And the Ferrari's now going to try and take on the Ford down the straight. Decent pace on the Ford, actually, in a straight line that time. But a big dive up the inside into La Source by Bird. Melcher runs around the outside. It's a good move, that. Good bit of driving by Dennis to keep ahead. Will he be ahead of Sam at the end of the straight? Who knows?
Yeah, got such a long stretch. Here comes Warmingham. He's going to have to duck out. That was almost contact there. If anything, he may have ducked out too early. Obviously, he didn't have much of a choice about it. But not quite building up the momentum I imagine he would have wanted. But that is fantastic momentum. Round the outside, through Lake Coombe and gets straight past. Closing in on these guys. Behind is Ben Gregory as well. So this is going to be a three battle. McClay up into 5th. How far is McClay behind? Oh, we've got a crash with Bird in the middle of the track. Oh, don't get back going.
No.
And that was very avoidable. And that was Harrods. Pete Harrod, championship leader.
Blake got involved in that as well. He was in trouble in that, Michael Blake. Got a bit of the brunt of it. Sun's going down. It looks like Patience is going down a little bit as well.
Well, that's going to be affecting his straight line speed across to the end of the race, Harrod. But as long as he finishes in that kind of top 14 maybe, I think that's pretty much the smallest reverse grid we can get, then he'll have a chance for race 3. It's not the situation that he wants to be in. It's usually a situation that he does so well to avoid, but there's no avoiding that.
Yeah, one of the title contenders, Pete Harrod. As it stands, I believe he is leading the championship, maybe by a couple of points over McClay, but McClay looks like he might be able to regain that in this one. Now, Harry Wills, he said that he was doing very well in this meeting. Well, indeed, he still is. And he's got Josh Thompson for company now, so this will be an interesting one. It might be the first time these two have squared off on the circuit. We'll see if Thompson can do anything on the flat-out run towards the final chicane.
30 places gained for Thompson. As,
just 30 then, yeah?
Just 30. I think it'll be 31 soon. Behind them as well. Oh, wow, I think behind them. I think, apologies for averting attention there, but I all of a sudden saw Beard passing both McFarlane and Docker. No disrespect to Beard. That was a good effort from him. Of course,
spinner.
Championship
leader.
Few
spinners. Oh, my word, what's that?
Fletcher.
Track is nearly blocked at the exit of the bus stop. It's Max Bird, and it's going to degenerate. Is it now? Is it? I don't know what that was really. What nonsense. But there you go. Draycott now under pressure from Ben Gregory. Gregory going through. It's a good run by Ben Gregory up into second position. Started in 6th actually, Sam. So good, a really good first few laps.
Yeah, McClay now 4 seconds behind them. lapping on that last lap, McClay. Only 3/10 of a second faster than Warmingham and Gregory, so he needs more than that. Does McClay if he's going to catch by the end of the race?
Well,
Jacobs trying
indeed,
to go with
the
him.
fastest lap, Sam, as well, for McClay that time.
Yeah, I think so. Wills and or McLaren just getting past Wills, by the way, up into 10th. That's a strong group. Thompson, McFarlane, Evdoka, Beard, all with one another, trying to move their way up through the order. Could be good points for all of them today after a decent race one
Here's
for those
Thompson.
drivers.
Thompson having a look into Lafagno. He's through.
Just done a pretty good job at staying in the top 10 for now.
For now, it's an uphill battle, I think. You can tell it just doesn't have enough grip. And that Audi definitely does have in the hands of Josh Thompson, who drives for Williams Esports, one of the informed teams in sim racing, let's be honest. And so that their GT3 program very strong indeed. And Thompson said he just loves driving his car at the moment, and don't blame him at all with how well he's been doing. And look at that, he's closed up to Oscar Mangan like nothing. Mangan, a former pro driver himself, and Thompson making this look extremely straightforward, Sam, at the moment.
Yeah, Mangan up 18 places. Oh, as Warmingham's had an issue. Warmingham,
no.
well, I thought he might get a race win.
Oh,
and
no,
into him goes
big contact
McClay.
again. And another one as well in there, Evdoka. Oh,
He pulled a gap as well, hadn't he? Deary me.
what's happened? Does he get a wheel on the grass going to the hairpin? Oh, he just loses it in the hairpin. And then he tries to... Oh, no. No.
That's Jacobs who got held up, by the way.
Wow, Richard. Not the best rejoin I've ever seen. It's a shame that, because he was doing so well.
Yeah, it's probably the favourite for the race win. Oh, we've got another one. Well, that's Billy Fletcher. He's already had an off, I believe. That is a strange place to hit the wall.
He was off on the first lap, Sam, just as I rejoined the session again. Saw him in the fence at Malmedy. And look at this, he's catching the Mercedes. Oh, and he just loses it. The car gets light. He loses the rear and goes off into the wall on the left-hand side, which is quite rare, as we see. You see quite a few cars off on the right-hand side, but yeah, in the left-hand side, that's it was just the ferocity of the movement to the left, wasn't it? Because he was closing on that Mercedes by such an amount. He really had to sort of yank the car to the left, and that was just too much for the tyres.
Yeah, and over the crest as well, a car going light. So tricky, that corner, but when you by yourself, especially in these GT3 cars, because you have to push them so hard in order to get the pace through the Camel Straight. It's such an important corner. And, yeah, just catching too quick through Radion on that occasion. Mangan onto the back of... sorry, this is Shield onto the back of... apologies, I'm getting this all wrong. Mangan on the back of Shield. There we go.
Yes.
Thompson. And McFarlane as well. I was just very confused because it's not like Andy Shield to be holding up.
He's changed car though, hasn't he? Wasn't he in the McLaren?
He was, along with his teammates, as here comes Mangan, finds a car's width or a McLaren's width. Just nips down the inside. They make contact, guys, but I think it should be Shield who has the advantage going into Eau Rouge. And well, I think Matt's going to be under pressure from Thompson. He might be able to get a double draft on these guys.
Yeah, Shield's got the high ground. Look at the speed. What a camera angle that was as they fly up the hill. It really does convey just how quickly these GT3 cars are going, well over 150 miles an hour down there. And here we go, still climbing up through the gears to about 185 miles an hour. At the end of the straight, unbelievable. But through goes Mangan. He's up into V4.
And now Thompson has to go straight with him. It's an opportunity down the hill. Very much makes his intentions clear, and Shield doing the wise thing there of just giving him a bit of space. No point in fighting that one. And now McFarlane will be next as well.
Yeah, I think if Shield having to reacclimatise to the car. From, like I said, that was the car he was driving, the McLaren. It's just going past him, or trying to, with Ross McFarlane. Is he going to get the cut back through Paul? That's a nice little move you don't see very often.
A first and sixth on the cards right now for McFarlane. That's a very good start to his day. If he could achieve that, would certainly help his championship chance, especially when majority of his, as we see every week, it's almost impossible to get a completely clean round. So the fact that he's 2/3 of the way there, if he can finish this race, very good for him.
Yeah, and first and sixth as well for Texas Fitstein Motorsport at the moment, with CQR in second, Renvale in third, a couple of privateers. As we look at Nicole Foggy, the XVR driver, he's on the back of Ashley Beard, and we'll see what Beard can do to defend here. Beard in the bright green and yellow Year 1 car. Oh, Foggy gets the space. He just opened the gap just slightly, and that was all it took for him to walk through. That was lovely stuff by Foggy, and he's going to be right on the back of Underhill. Burke Jacobs here as well. They were holding each other up a little bit in the chicane, Sam, and that allowed Foggy to close in quite rapidly.
Yeah, almost with these drivers now. I mean, Foggy's up 21 places, but surprisingly few. It's rare that you say that. I'm not sure what about incident he got involved in, but he's been overtaken by Underhill. And he starts at 2 places behind Burke, and he's still 2 places behind Burke, which is quite strange for him. Of course, retired from race 1, quit on the last lap of the race due to circumstances we're not quite aware of. But he is past Burke next up for him, Melcher, so he can still get some good point. Apologies, that was the pit stop car just ahead. But yeah, Foggy onto Burke next. All three wide.
That's Ethan Bass. That's oh no, wait, that's Woodhouse. It's Draycott and it's Bolland. It's Matt Draycott. And, yeah, Matt Draycott in the BMW. Steve Burke's teammate at Lizard Motorsport. Kevin Bolland. Yes, Kevin Bolland going through. Oh, the Ferrari's been clipped. That's Craig Jones, who is, I believe he's currently leading the AM category. Is Craig Jones?
I think Bolland and Draycott are both. Oh, sorry, Will's. Look at that, Will's in 9th.
But the championship. Sam,
oh,
sorry.
Apologies.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, not in the race. Sorry. Yes, Harry Will's leading them in the race. I believe. I'm just going to double check again. But I believe Craig Jones leads the way in the standings.
You are correct. Yep. Lars Van Rijn in 2nd place.
Will's doing a hell of a job. He's 8 places ahead of anybody else in that category, and that is Jack Hills. So we've got Wills and Hills, thrills and spills. Hopefully not repair bills though, Sam, because that would be bad.
That certainly would be. And a very interesting element if they added that to iRacing. But,
oh god, yeah, you could have paid for your own cars.
I've seen it proposed for various leagues where you have like a budget of $1 million for a season, and if you crash the car, then you get like a load of that being taken away.
I don't hate the idea. I don't hate the idea because he does like I tell you what, it would make people race carefully if they only had a limited number of cars. I'll tell you that.
I think you're very optimistic about FIFA. I think this stance would not change one bit, and we'd have half the cars remaining by round 5 of the championship when everyone's run out of money. Oscar Mangan's very slow.
Softening in my old age, and it's not just the quarantine food.
So that's McFarlane and Shield, I think, getting back past Mangan. I think Thompson may have even got past him. Where was Mangan?
Thompson's up into 4th already.
Mangan was in 5th place at the start of this lap, so
Thompson just set. So McFarlane just set the fastest lap, 2:16.5. Thompson just went a second quicker than McFarlane's fastest lap. It was invalidated, so it won't count for the fastest lap. Oh, Foggy! What's happened to Foggy? Once again, he's facing the wrong way. Why is that? It's coming through the comp, and then it's around the outside of Melcher. Oh, Melcher hits him. Off they both go. Oh dear.
Melcher just understeering into him there.
Well, Melcher can administer his own medicine anyway from the medical cart.
We'll need a plaster on that. And so Thompson's up into third now. He's just got past McLean. Thompson, so we've got one more lap to go. Thompson is lapping nearly 3 seconds a lap faster than the race leaders. He's 3.3 seconds off the lead. He should get Jacob. I don't think he'll quite get Gregory, but it'll be close. It will be close by the end.
I've never seen such pace in this championship relative to everybody else. It's astonishing, the confidence and skill of Josh Thompson at the moment. And these are some very, very good opponents that he's against as well. I mean, he's just overtaken the man who's leading the championship at the start of the night and just left him like he's not even there. McFarlane, very, very good as well. We're going to see, aren't we? We've not got that long left here. It's just about 7 kilometres in order to crown a winner. Is it going to be Ben Gregory? Is it going to be Chaz Draycott? Is it going to be Josh Thompson? Is it going to be George McLean? They're really your options, ladies and gentlemen. What do you reckon, Sam?
Well, I think Thompson will get Jacob, but I don't think he's going to be able to catch up to Gregory. Should get within about a second of him on that last lap. Despite the overtake, he was still 2.1 seconds faster. He started this lap about 3.1 seconds behind. So it'll be close. McClay coming with him as well, so Jacob's got to be careful here. He's been mega cautious so far in this race, this Jacob, and very sensible as well. I'm sure he would have been down in 4th place by now if he'd put more of a fight up against Gregory and Warmingham, who overtook him earlier on. Instead, he just let them pass and got on with his own race, which was very smart driving. Will he want to put up a battle though against Thompson? A 3rd place will still be very good for him.
I think he should put up a battle at the last lap. Of course he should.
Hopefully he will. Hopefully he will. He will have the chicane. I think that'll be it.
If you're not fighting on the last lap, then there's no point in you being here, really. If it's, you know, it's the last lap. Absolute worst case scenario, right? You might even still get a reverse grid pole. So, where's the harm in it, really, of having a battle? As long as you don't do anything stupid. So we're about to see what Chaz is going to do. Ben Gregory looks like he's going to take the win here. He's only got 2 corners to go. Chaz Draycott defending all the way to the white line. Thompson trying to go around the outside. He's got a lot of confidence. Draycott drives it in, but it's not going to be good enough. It's Thompson coming out, but it's Gregory that wins here at Spa. Brilliant from Ben Gregory. That's the first win for a while, I think, for him. Josh Thompson in 2nd place from 40th on the grid. It is astounding what he continues to do. Chaz Draycott gets the bubbly in 3rd, and then it's McClay, then it's McFarlane. Where's Alex Nello when you need him for the bubbly counter?
Harrod might get Melcher. This is a good result for Melcher, considering the couple of incidents he was in, but he might get a penalty for that incident.
Well, considering he crashed
Foggy.
Exactly with Foggy,
yeah.
That's not a bad result, 16th place at all. Oh, speaking of crashing, there's Dean Timms. That's got to be a spin coming out of Blanchimont, hasn't it? I mean, he's quite a way down towards the chicane, though, isn't he?
It was mega close between Draycott, Jones and Roberts, I think, on this final lap, and maybe Timms has got involved in that.
Does Timms get hit by Jones? Nope, he just loses it. And a great job, by the way, keeping it out of the wall. And a fantastic job by Craig Jones not to hit him. Did it lose Jones a place in the end? No, I think he just got ahead, just stayed ahead of John Roberts. This is on board with Craig Jones. Sam, and going to go on a bit of a wild ride here, I think.
No, this was smart driving from Jones. I think he got on the brakes and just about avoided it.
And there's John Roberts, look, trying to make it round the outside. Is Roberts in trying to take advantage of the opportunity, but to the line for Jones, and 23rd place for the man who, sorry, 22nd place. No, 23rd for the man who leads the arm category. All right, well, that was another exciting race here at Spa. We've still got the reverse grid draw to come, and just waiting on the finishing order as a couple of drivers just make it across the line, and I think we've just about got it ready to show you as night descends on Spa. So the final race almost certainly going to be in the pitch darkness. And take it away, Sam.
Yes, I always dislike night races, but I'll be quiet about it.
It's because we can't see. It's the people like me with bad eyesight that dislike them more.
Exactly. Well, you haven't eaten enough carrots, have you? It's your own fault. Ben Gregory wins. 1.2 seconds clear of Josh Thompson. One more lap. I mean, yeah, one more lap. Thompson would have had him, but that was the amount of laps we had. So Thompson finished in second place, but 38 places gained. I mean, that's got to be pretty high up on the most amount of places gained ever in this series in a race. Chaz Jacott finished in third place. Very good result for Chaz there. George McClain, championship leader, finishes in fourth. That's really what he needed after a poor race one. Ross McFarlane, after winning race one, finishes in fifth place right there. Andy Shield, good points for him. It's only 5 seconds off the lead as well. So too was Oscar Mangan in seventh. There's Michael Evdoka. Harry Wills was top of the AMS again. He is really tuning in those points right now. Tom Jacobs was in 10th place. Good result for him. There's Steve Burke, Simon Underhill, Ashley Beard, Ben Palmer, Jack Hills, Dennis Melcher, Pete Harrod, Mark Woodhouse, Ethan Bass, Adam Hedgecock, Kevin Boland, Matt Jacob, Craig Jones, John Roberts, Dean Timms, Simon Field, Niall Crowther, Nathan Dixon, Michael Blake, Mike Horder. Those were the drivers who took the checker flag. Also, Mike Gray was multiple laps down, but still decided to take the checker flag. He was in 35th, but in 31st was Nick Foggy, who once again doesn't finish a race. I think we'll score points at least, though, if that's any consolation. Billy Fletcher, Richard Warmingham, Lewis Bibby, Mike Gray, like I said, who did take the checker flag, Max Bird, Carl Yacolet, Taylor Lane, Lars Van Rijn, and Mark Fletcher were the other competitors, not finishers, starters, if you will. Now it's time for the reverse grid wheel, the second one of the day.
That's right. Let's just get the wheel on the screen. Here we go. And if I can just find it. Yes, here we go, and let's spin it. So I'm kind of curious, what are we actually going to see, because it was getting pretty dark during the second race, so... I mean, fortunately these guys have headlights, but I don't know if he can actually make out who their drivers is.
Have you got the night vision camera pack enabled?
Unfortunately not. Not yet, at least. So it will be 30.
Wow, big one.
Yeah, big
I'm
one.
not going to proclaim who's on the poll this time. I'm going to
Okay.
wait until it comes onto the screen.
So it's Mike Horder then.
Oh, it's right.
So I think that was a full then. So Horder, he finished
Yes.
97 seconds back. He'll start on pole with Michael Blake in second place. Wonder if Canada's commentator, can we get some headlights, please? It would really be useful because we're not going to see a lot.
What? So we can just shine them onto whatever part of the track we want.
Well, exactly. Yeah. That would be
like
great.
the Eye of Sauron.
Yeah.
Just like, oh dear, that's an idea. iRacing, if you're listening, come on, give us a great big commentary tower with a great big orange eye on it. That'd be fantastic. Right. On that note, we might need, like I say, the carrots for the next one, but we're going to see you after the break here on the iRacing Esports Network and Apex Racing TV when the World GT Championship continues. The night has descended here at Spa as the World GT Championship continues on the iRacing Esports Network. Andrew Woodhouse, Sam Fitzpatrick, and Sam Kumo bringing you all the action on behalf of Apex Racing TV. Well, Sam, as we said, it's got dark here. Obviously, everyone can see it. Seeing the cars actually might be a slight issue for us, but we're going to do our best. But it should be a great race anyway. I reckon we're going to in for a good 20 minutes.
Absolutely, the black car with the headlights, I think, is what we'll be describing. As the,
it's like that silhouette picture that shows up on that shows up sometimes.
Well, exactly, yeah. They're all the exact same now, so thanks for that, guys. Mike Horder on pole position after a 30-car reverse grid. Don't see too many of them around. That's the largest we can get, so that was
hey, it's a good grid if you're an AM driver or a pro AM driver. It's a very good looking grid.
Well, absolutely. Look at all the orange and yellow right there. Michael Blake second place. Nathan Dixon top of the amateur. Just loads of amateur drivers within the reverse grid. There's now Crowther, Simon Field, Dean Timms, John Roberts, Craig Jones, Matt Jaycott, and Kevin Bolland. The rest of the order will go through for you, others to watch out for. Josh Thompson. Is he taking this race? I assume he can't start this race, surely, because he's got another pit lane start to serve. But winner from race 2 was Ben Gregory. He'll be starting in 30th place if Thompson does take the start.
I wonder if Thompson might just come into the pits. He might just come into the pits, so if he's got a pit lane start.
Maybe.
Would that work, maybe? And can come back out again? I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out. If not, I don't know what that would be. You see Mark Fletcher, he's having to start 40th after being victim of the crash in race 2. Right then. Not long to go now. Pace car is pulling in. We've still got a corner and a bit to go though before the green flag. So we expect the drivers to be quite careful, maybe not to go too early. And again, some people often, as we said at the start, try to bolt it at the start and see what happens. More often than not, causes a bit of havoc behind. So slower pace should in theory be a little bit better. It's Mike Horder, the Pro-Am Championship leader, who will bring us to the green flag here at Spa-Francorchamps. And look at the start that he's made. Already almost 2x2 down the hill into Eau Rouge. Horder leads the way, then second is Blake, then it's Dixon. Oh, spinner off. Big crash into the wall for Niall Crowther. And I don't know if that Mercedes, the Team Laser Motorsport car, is going to be going much further. So we look at the Kemmel Straight, there's a few slowdown penalties being served, it looks like. But I think everybody else, apart from Crowther, seemed to get away with that very well.
Good start for Adam Hedgecock up into 8th place. Good start for Matt Jaycott as well. He's gained a couple of places. Fields leading up into 4th.
Is that Shield?
Carl
Jackolet's off as well.
Place did Shield and had good pace as well in race 2. He finished a few seconds off the lead, but that's a big setback here. It's going to be a dull race for him, just trying to get close to everyone else.
Is it just me that's disappointed that the Year 1 racing cars don't glow in the dark? They're that kind of colour. You think they would glow in the dark for us?
Exactly. Where's the flashlights? We need some flashlights. Kevin Boland.
Well, we're getting plenty of lights flashed shone at us in the minute, to be fair.
Exactly, yeah. Through Lafania. And they are just all black cars. Craig Jones, he stands out a bit. That's a white car, unlike the others.
The SCC Racing Ferrari. He's in 9th place. He started in 8th, so not a wonderful first lap for him, but he's still in the race, still going. That's the key. Horder leads the way then from Blake. Horder leads by 1.5 seconds. Great lap by the Boosted Motorsport driver.
Jones.
Oh, big crash. Oh, that's Jones in the wall. Don't turn across. You've got to keep it. Yes, well done.
That was the white livery there. Everyone can see him.
I tell you what, he's done. He's the best one tonight in terms of having a spin and then holding it still. You've got to try and either hold the brakes completely or back it up in a straight line. And that's exactly what Craig Jones did. And then he got it off the track when it was safe to do so. Well done. Good driving. I know he'd be disappointed with crashing. Oh, and speaking of crashing, there's a few... Oh, dear. No, 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 no. Just no, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's a bit of a... Is that going to be a pile-up, dude, there? No, fortunately, there's not too many drivers behind Ben
Well,
Ryan
they've added,
involved.
it's like
That...
1995.
Oh,
Oh,
dear
no.
me. That was Shield moving back past.
It's like 1995 again with this stupid chicane at the bottom of the hill. Let's see the replay then. It's Beard going into La Source. Thompson going around the outside. Oh, and the Mercedes up the inside. I don't think Beard saw him at all. And then there's a further crash a bit down the hill with Wills and with another Mercedes. Van Rijn comes along. It's absolutely walloped. He hits the extension of the wall. Yeah. And then Andy Shield. Oh.
Could have been
dear.
maybe one of the Mercedes, not quite sure.
Bibby,
yeah,
I think Bibby went up the inside into the hairpin, and I think that's what caught out Ash Beard. But I don't think he was the one who was involved later on. It could have been. It's possible.
Well, that's a lot of drivers dropping down, isn't it? We're down to 34 who are still running. Anti-Shield, to be fair, is... Well, he's still out on circuit, is Shield. I think
Feels
he'll
sorry
be
for the
running
stewards
anymore.
panel.
Exactly, yeah. Trust me, I know about that stewarding. It's not fun.
Oh no! Somebody's lost it coming out. Paul Frey. Oh, it's Jacobs, and nobody's hit him, thankfully. It shows though, Sam, that there's not a lot of grip out there at the moment.
Yeah, and with the new tyre model, it's so tricky to get up the tyres to temperature. Much harder in these mega cool conditions. I don't think we even need to bring up the weather. Oh, it's 22 to be fair. I thought it'd be 18. Oh, that's very clumsy, and that's a lot of contact. 2 by 2 all the way down. This is lap 3 of the race, but you won't know it. This looks like it's the formation lap again with the line that everyone is taking. Billy
I think they're closer now.
Yeah. It's very difficult to say who's who as well. Billy Fletcher was one of the drivers involved, and Foggy as well.
Yeah, Foggy just behind Mike Gray. You can see Ross McFarlane in the McLaren, and he's with George McClay actually. So that's a battle of 2 of the leading drivers in the series. Oh, crash! Oh dear!
That's going to be a big one. Wow.
Oh, that's a huge one. Nearly off into the trees is Fletcher, and another crash. More crashes at the top of the hill. Gray and an Audi as well. I'm not sure who the Audi is. I think it might be Lane, Taylor Lane, actually, who's ended up... Let's see the replay then. As who loses it at the top? Oh, they've already gone. They already were gone. And Gray, hits 2 more cars. 2 more cars hit him, should I say. And then whoever that was did very well to go through the middle of... Oh, my goodness. And what was telling there, really, Sam, was nobody seemed to slow down, did they? When they were approaching the scene of the accident. It didn't seem to really lift off that much.
Yeah, the first few I don't think had much of a chance, but then even the ones afterwards, yeah,
they were just barreling through at whatever speed.
I guess if you don't see it, then you don't slow down for it.
They saw it.
Well, I could probably get through that.
The one that you could, but this is the point. You got to they just absolutely flew through there, and I feel like if that car didn't tow out of the sim, might have been another contact.
Yeah, I was thinking.
And meanwhile, Dennis Melchert's still going. He's in 14th place. Josh Thompson's in 13th place in the Audi already. And at the front, Mike Horder's lead is 3 seconds. There's a reason probably why we haven't really shown Mike Horder very much on the screen. Because he's going exceptionally well. So
Thompson, of course, yeah, up 17 places. Docker up 10. Foggy up 12. McClay up 10. McFarlane up 8. Mark Fletcher up 17. He's the joint highest gainer. Also, Ben Power gone from 17th to 6th so far. Oh, that's a very tight line. That's 3 wide. That was all very unnecessary. And there goes McFarlane. Well, it was turning into a perfect day for him. I've got to be careful here. There's a gap.
Oh!
It be. Take out your teammates.
Oh, he's done well in the end. He's done well in the end, McFarlane, to get that round without taking anyone out. What a messy start. Messy start. We've seen some great racing this season. This isn't one of them, but hopefully it gets better from now on in. We've still got quite a lot of time. I do like on the Ferrari, actually, Sam, the light above the window really does help us see what's going on see the car in this this sort of lighting.
Absolutely. If only we were running the GTEs, because they've got the very nice neon lights.
Oh yeah, some Ford
in those
GTs.
cars. Yeah, where you can pick
They're very good.
purple and an assortment of other colours. Looks very nice. I'm not sure if you can do that with the other cars. I mean, but certainly the Ford looks the best, undoubtedly. But no, that
It's a shame actually that they don't run the Ford GT3 GTE car as in the GT3 spec, because you know Dennis needs a new car.
Yeah, that one's 20 years old, so yeah, ought to have a car swap or something. Melcher
Is it really
is gonna
20
be
years old?
It
Oh.
must be 10.
Well, it was a GT2 car originally, wasn't it? I'm going to do some quick research while we're.
But Melcher certainly flying the flag very well. Any Ford GT3 out there? Yeah, was a convert from the GT2. Foggy will move past it. Could be a tricky move on the outside of Blanchimont. He does have the longer way to go, and he is actually still behind. Melcher might be best just to back out of this one, otherwise there might be a crash between
Well, those
the
two
of them.
crashed in the second race, didn't they?
Yeah, and well, that was Melcher's fault on that occasion, but I think that would be Foggy's. Nathan Dixon, I think from potentially the lead of the bronze category, has spun the car number 15. He's down into 17th place now. Look at that onslaught of drivers, and they're good drivers as well. Banging, Fletcher, Hills, McClay, Jacob. So that's not what he would have been wanting to see in his mirrors. You can see anything out of the mirrors anyway. Foggy's onto the back of Bass now, or is pretty close to the back of Bass. Should have a good run through Gradion and Eau Rouge. By the way, the gap between the two leaders is 3.4 seconds, hence why we haven't shown too much of them. Blake, though, is under pressure from field. But Blake has that one covered quite slow through Lake Lynn. It's going to lose them a lot of time to Palmer. Thompson is 7 seconds behind these drivers. I guess Palmer will probably catch them before Thompson catches them. He's up to 6th place now as Thompson. Probably not as dominant as he was at Suzuka, because he was about a second a lap faster every single lap at Suzuka. I think it's more like maybe 8/10 around here, but it's still very good.
He was a second quicker than everyone else in the second race at the end of the second race, so
yeah,
just took him a long time to get there. Just looking at the Ford GT, the racing version of it, in various guises for about 10 to 14 years, something like that. But I think this model, you're looking at the 2008 season roughly for I think what this car is based off.
Wow,
I believe. So I mean, it's running with some cars. I mean, what's the newest car in this field?
The Ferrari.
It's the Ferrari, which is what, a 2017 car, 2018 car, yeah. So yeah, so that's the difference. That's the disparity in what, let's say, Dennis Melcher is having to deal with. For instance, obviously he chooses that. It's a bit of a meme, isn't it? But hey, the fact that he's still pedaling that round in 16th place is quite a good achievement. Steve Burke and Adam Hedgecock, this is a good battle, and this is one of the fastest parts of the circuit, Sam, as well.
Losing a lot of places, I think was that Hedgecock losing place? Certainly the driver who was in P6 at the start of this lap, which was
yeah,
Hedgecock.
He's just
he lost 4 places right there. He just got
to
shoved
Doka.
out. Burke's doing a good job actually, up in 8th. Haven't spoken too much about Burke. He's had a good day all the way through actually. I think he finished in 11th place in race 2, which is
it's like 20th, Burke. So I tell you what, any day that you start 20th and you're running in the top 10, it's a good day. What's Thompson up to? It's up to 5th at the moment, 24 places gained. He's nearly 3 seconds behind Ben Palmer. It's going to be tough for him to catch Palmer, but we'll see if he does. 1.1 seconds quicker than him on the previous lap. Well, he might catch him then in that case. But of course, he's got to catch Palmer. He's got to try and pass him, and then he's got to catch and pass the others, which I don't know if that's possible. But he's certainly going to try, and he's pelting it round. He really is. Matt Draycott, then, you said he's having a good race. Well, he was doing. He was quite high up on the grid, wasn't he? But hasn't had an absolutely stellar race. But he's still going in 18th place. That's not a bad effort.
Yeah, it's certainly not bad. Mark Woodhouse in 7th place, just ahead of Burke. I think no changes so far on this lap, but there's a big queue forming up behind Roberts as there goes Mtoka. That was a strange move into Puon. Don't usually see too many moves there. We usually see a few more moves into Fanya because you can go inside or outside. Either way works because it
like
swaps back for the next one. Woodhouse drives it in deep, and there we go. That's a lovely move. And through goes Burke as well. He did a similar move on Hedgecock, I think, on the last lap. I don't think it's going to work out on this occasion though, because back comes Roberts, but it's a poor exit for him. Docker, meanwhile, needs to try to find a bit of clear air here so he doesn't get re-overtaken by Hedgecock, who's in the wall.
Ooh.
Dear. Oh, no. Adam Hedgecock, our co-commentator, of course, at Apex Racing TV. And that is a lot of front nose damage for him. We'll drop to about 30th place because of that, because that's all the cars we've got remaining.
Hedgecock off then, and let's see what happened. Whoa!
Tap the back of Evdoku, I think. That was settled him.
Looked like the rear just went.
It seemed like he was going anyway, and then that small tap with Evdoku just seemed to completely send it round.
It's crazy. Roberts into combat then with Evdoka. Evdoka around the outside. And he's going to have a good run down the hill. Is well, Evdoka, they're exactly side by side here, just a 100th or so. Roberts has got the high ground.
Oh no, that's a crash further up.
Oh, that's a big crash. Stephen Burke. And yeah, that's where Max Verstappen went off with his suspension damage in last year's race.
And Burke, Field's been overtaken by Palmer. And
Field's coming back at Palmer though. Into Rivage up the inside.
Oh,
very good.
Nice.
But I think Palmer's just going to hold the line. He's going to have the high ground for the left hand there. Yeah, he does go through. So there's the Audi of Thompson. He's going to think about a move soon, possibly.
Speaking of high ground, by the way, happy Star Wars Day, everyone.
Indeed, yes. Hello there.
Thompson, I think, will get past that.
Yeah, he's going around the outside, but that is the move that you illustrated so well on the previous lap as a possibility, and there it is again. And a great move there by Josh Thompson. He's off on his merry way up towards the top three. Indeed, it will be if he gets Ben Palmer.
By the way, that incident that we saw with who's the car who crashed on that last day? It was Steve Burke, wasn't it? He was going side by side with someone up Eau Rouge. As Thompson will be past. So, but I just thought the foreground of the battle that we were talking about, and I thought, oh dear, that's going to get a bit dicey.
Well, we thought Roberts was going to go for it, didn't we? And then it turned out the other people were already doing it.
I think it must have been with Woodhouse? No, or was it
somebody's in the pit wall, I think, mate. It's Ethan Bass. Ethan Bass has ended up in the barriers, coming out of the final corner. Up the inside then goes Chaz Draycott on Nathan Dixon. Nathan Dixon and another one of the SCC Racing Ferraris. This is going to be, wisely Draycott backs out. Let's see if he can get the run down the straight. Ferrari good in the straight line course, good top end speed. He's got a great slipstream off the BMW as well. What's Nathan Dixon going to do here? Is he going to go to the outside? He goes to the inside, he goes for the dummy. It could be really good. We
might see Foggy in a moment. Jacob with a nice move there.
Gravel everywhere. I thought Dixon nearly pulled off an outstanding move into Le Combe, but not quite. Where's Foggy then? Let's see, Sam. 3 wide it's going to be then, is it? Oh dear. It's been nice knowing you all.
Oh, netcode.
Netcode. Ah. So frustrating. They were racing so well and so closely. Just a little bit of netcode there coming into play.
So that's no finishes for Foggy today.
Oh.
I think the first 2 he would have scored points for because I think he was only 1 lap down, but that one he's not going to score points for, I think.
Safe to say this will be a dropped round.
You'd hope.
Well, unless he's got minus points from another round, it'll be all right.
Yeah, but I know in ARLTC you get penalty points in a round. I think you can drop it.
So
I think Foggy would have done that today.
potential developments. Thompson is winning the second of Blake. No. And this is for second place. Josh Thompson, who started at pretty much at the back twice tonight, got second place in race 2. He's going to look for a second place here as well. Can he make this work down the hill? Well, he'll have to be up the hill. I think that he's got to set him up now through Eau Rouge and Radion. Blake goes to the inside, Thompson goes to the outside. BMW versus Audi power. You would favour the Audi here, Sam, and I think... Oh, he's just about pulling away. There's not too much difference in the speed.
Credit to Blake there, he wants to stay involved in that one. He was moving about a little bit just to fend off Thompson, but wasn't enough. I must say, if Thompson... it
Most
worked
likely
for
the final
these...
lap, so you might as well.
Yeah. So he started in 30th place, sorry, 29th place. So he didn't start from the pits then, I think, did Thompson. He's faced this legit, so I don't know what those pit lane penalties were about. Whether maybe he serves them at the next round or something.
Have you been appealed? Did he appeal any of them, maybe?
Well, he let me know about them earlier on. So...
then he hasn't taken them. Who knows?
I don't know. So
maybe we're just grassing on him now for not taking the penalties.
If he claims ignorance, then Matt Dunn, he's a complete liar. So don't believe any of that.
Well, Mike Horder, he's going to take the win here if he manages to negotiate the final sector. And Boosted Motorsport, well, we always like to see them doing well, and they're one of the longest running teams on our channel. Really, they've been going for many years now. I'd say many years, it's probably 5 years, but still that's quite a long time in sim racing. And Mike Horder, then the Welshman, the leader of the Pro-Am category, he's just got the final chicane to go. He's going to turn it right and then left at the bus stop. He's going to put the power down. Oh, he's being very careful. Out of the final corner comes Horder, and Mike Horder for Boosted Motorsport wins here at Spa-Francorchamps. Josh Thompson in second. He'll be delighted with that, I'm sure. Michael Blake in third. Ben Palmer in fourth. Simon Field in fifth. And then we're seeing this battle between Hills and Matt Draycott. Jack Hills, defending fresh air into the final chicane, Sam. And sometimes you can get cut back quite dramatically. Oh, and it almost happened. It didn't quite. McFarlane's got past Bass, look, on the final corner.
Yep, he's up to 19th right at the end there. Nice work there from McFarlane. 19th place for McFarlane, that's not bad. So race win in race 1, I think he got 5th in race 2. And look at the fireworks. Oh, it was worth 9th all the time. Unfortunately, we don't have a firework camera. But you can hear the fireworks, I think.
I wonder if we can get a shot of the fireworks. See if
I think just test our luck on maybe the scenic or something. And we might see him.
Or Blimpski. We'll see what happens on that one. But yeah, 26 drivers finishing only in this one. As you watch, the fireworks have probably stopped now. That's just, well, thank you, circuit organisers, for that, for the timing. We appreciate. But here we go then. Final results will be on the screen in just a moment as last drivers are crossing the line. Adam Hedgecott. Ben Gregory's only completed 3 laps. So the winner of race 2. Sadly for him, not panning out at all really for this one.
No, but he's taken the checkered flag. I imagine could I run that far? 21
You could run that
kilometers.
far, but
Nah,
maybe it's
that's
not in
not
that
happening.
time. But
Nah, that's not gonna happen, is it? Jeez. No. That was what a stupid thing to say. Stupid
I mean,
thing to say.
you could run that far, but not in 20 minutes.
You see, even that is pushing it. Honestly. I don't think I've ever run that far in my life. Mike Horder, though, he wins 1.3 seconds clear of Josh Thompson. So close for Thompson to a couple of race wins. It's a shame because he wants that triple race win. Today was a really good chance if it weren't for those for that race 1 start. Michael Blake finishes in 3rd. Then was Ben Palmer. Simon Field, great result for him, and big great result for the Boosted. Michael Docker had a great drive back up to 6th, gained a lot of places. Mark Woodhouse, good result in 7th. There was Oscar Mangan, but under the radar. Mark Fletcher and Pete Harrod, all those guys scoring good points. There's Tom Jacobs, John Roberts, Dennis Melcher, Charles Jacob, Jack Hills was top of the amateur drivers. Then it was Matt Jacob, Lewis Bibby, Dean Timms, Ross McFarlane. Good day for McFarlane. Ethan Bass, Ashley Beard, Carl Yacolet, Kevin Boland, Simon Underhill, Harry Wills, not quite backing up his first 2 results there, but still highest amateur point scorer, I believe today. And Adam Hedgecock was the last driver on the lead lap. Then 2 laps down was Nathan Dixon, and the other tires were Nick Foggy again, finishing the race. Awful day. Max Bird, Steve Burke, George McClay, Billy Fletcher, Ben Goku took the checkered flag, but was many laps down. Niall Crowther was about 8 laps down, and also Mike Gray, Taylor Lane, Craig Jones, Andy Shield, Lars Van Rijn, and Richard Warmingham were the other drivers. Richard Warmingham didn't complete the first lap. I don't know what happened to him, but yeah, very much rooted to the bottom of the standings in 40th place. Who do we have for interviews? We have no one for interviews. Well, oh no, we do have a driver for interviews. I reckon he's got already this
You see what
role.
happens, Josh?
I reckon Josh has got already his role where he can just hop in whenever he likes, to be honest. But welcome, Josh. I'll let Woody have a chat with you now that I've offended.
Yeah, hello, mate.
All right.
Well, Josh, you had some back of the grid starts or whatever it was, or pit lane. You said pit lane starts. I don't know really exactly what happened, but 2 second place. I think you've got to be happy with that, mate. Have to be.
Yeah. So the whole situation was I had 2 incidents last week which caused 2 people to get meatballs. Like, really unfortunate. I then got given pit starts. Obviously here, because it's the endurance pit, it puts you nearly a lap behind before you even get out of the pit lane. So we had a discussion with the admins before the meeting started, and what we agreed was I would execute and start at the back in each race. So it's basically the same as starting the pit lane. You're still going to be last. So that's why I didn't actually start from the pit lane, because of that. If it was another track, I would have taken the penalties, no issue. But here I felt it was a bit, there's no point racing if you're a lap down.
If it were the normal pit lane, you'd have been all right, wouldn't it? If it was the Grand Prix.
Yeah,
race?
if it was normal pit lane, it'd be fine. But obviously it goes off your grid slot, so I'd have been in the last pit lane box in the GP track and stuff to go to the endurance pit. So yeah, that's where that came from. But like you said, 2 P2s from back of grids. I can't really complain, to be honest. They expect that.
What did you? What was your view of all the nonsense on the first lap? As we're just seeing some of it actually on the screen.
To be honest, it wasn't. I think it's just called tyres. I think it catches a lot of people out still. I think that's just the main reason. I think people going a little bit too heavy on the brake, too hard into the corner, too much speed, and it's just so easy. Especially when the tyres are caught. All it takes is one little overcorrection and you're straight off. And with a new tyre model with the grass and gravel physics, that doesn't help either.
We saw like a lot of people losing it in places like Blanchimont and things like that. Would you say that'd be like a setup issue, or do you think that's just the way that the heat, that it's not getting enough heat into the rears? What do you think? Or too much?
It's the cars with a new tyre model tend to slide quite a lot through high speed. That's what we've learned. I had it all night. I think Sam caught on the cameras in race 1, so I was actually opposite lock through there 1 lap. It's so close on knife edge with high speed corners. But I think the Audi looking of grips up midway around, so it's okay. Other cars I tested in the week, I know the Ferrari was quite bad there. I don't know about the McLaren. I think it was quite bad. So I think it's just one of those. You just got to be so careful, especially when the track temps drop like this. You think you're gonna have more grip, but initially you have less grip when you run in the heat.
So in terms of picking your way through them, was it just a case of waiting for mistakes and trying to use that extra grip to your advantage?
I knew I'd have the pace advantage. Like that's been kind of obvious from Suzuka. We've done a lot with the car, so we've got a bit of a pace advantage just in the car itself, which helps, which is quite nice for once. Obviously, lap 1, 2 here. As soon as any checkup, so like race 1, I got caught up with an incident, Rouge and Lacombe. So, and here it spreads out quite a bit more than I thought it was going to. Like you get to lap 3, the top 5 or 6 are like 10 seconds gone. And obviously, some to come through traffic. Both races, once I got clear of like the main pack, you'd say, it was still a 10-second gap because it just spread out so much. So I had to kind of get on with it, but I knew I couldn't take any risks because obviously I don't want to have more penalties. I want to be able to have a fair race at the start and race 1 and stuff. But yeah, overall, I think it wasn't too. I didn't really have too many issues. I'd actually, to be honest, really good racing. Race 2 was really good with Andy and Oscar. That was really good. Just yeah, overall, it was quite good coming through the field.
Do you enjoy racing in the night time? Is it something that you tend to think you look forward to, or is it I know a lot of people just don't particularly like it, but what do you think?
I like it because it's a challenge. That is 100% there, especially now with a new time model. It makes it even trickier. It makes like any slight error more costly in a way. Obviously, from an endurance side, I prefer it more from an endurance side. For a sprint side, I can see why people don't like it because obviously, if there's a crash in front, all you're going to see is lights. There was a few incidents I had in that race where I was alongside someone and you couldn't see anything. It would just be darkness till you see their front lights.
Yeah.
So I think that's where people have issues with it, but I don't mind it. It's just a bit more of a challenge.
I'm just seeing you trying to make some moves on the stream as well. Trying to go through there. Before we let you go, mate, like I say, if you can do the usual, if you can shout out your sponsors and your team, whoever.
Yeah, so you guys first off for the broadcasting, great as always. All the World GT admins, and then everyone at Williams Esports and Craig's Shop. So our main sponsors for Williams being Chillblast, Razor, BenQ, Playseat, Finetech, and One All Sports.
Lovely. All right. Well, thanks very much, Josh, for joining us in the commentary box, and hopefully we'll catch you again at the next round.
Yeah, see you later, guys.
Cheers. Josh Thompson there, Sam, and really underlined the pace that he has in that Audi.
Yeah, he's got a gap, hasn't he, over everyone else? When everything has all right for him, he's got half a second to a second around all these tracks, which is remarkable, absolutely incredible, because we say it time and time again, the competition in this field is absolutely superb. We see a lot of real-life drivers take to the sim. I think Thompson would quite comfortably beat any of them who take to the sim, or the vast majority at the very least. So that is the level that he's driving at the moment. Maybe needs to avoid those incidents like he did at Suzuka, but when you're getting that many places, of course, as he is, obviously you are going to occasionally get involved in incidents, but hopefully next time out at Watkins getting served those penalties now, he will be very strong. As long as he hasn't picked up any more penalties today, he'll be very strong
well, he didn't.
at Watkins
He didn't think that he did.
No.
So hopefully for his sake that he hasn't. But thank you, everybody. We're gonna take our leave now. But thank you very much for spending time with us again here on this Monday evening with the World GT Championship on the iRacing Esports Network. From Sam Fitzpatrick, from Sam Kumar and Andrew Woodhouse, we'll see you next week for the penultimate meeting of the series. Good night.